Frank Young, aka Asian Acid Trip, Asian American Psycho. Sorry, not Asian Acid Trip. That doesn't make sense. Fuck that shit. Fuck this nickname. Yellow Avatar, whatever. Okay, anyways. So I just watched a video by the Hodgetwins. That was a good video by the Hodgetwins. The question is, if you have a good physique, does that mean that you have good knowledge? Well, the Hodgetwins answered it pretty clearly. No, it doesn't. Okay, anyway, so I want to expand on that a little bit, and I completely agree. In fact, I want to argue that there might even be a inverse relationship between how much you know how to do something and how good you are at doing that thing that you know. Okay, there might be an inverse relationship. Let me explain. Alright, of course, this is not the case in every case, but I'm saying there's some logic here. Okay, explain. I'm gonna explain. All right. So I wrote about this actually a few months ago on Facebook. But I guess see, I like to write and make a video, so it creates two different pathways in your brain. You hear it and you read it, and your memories become more multidimensional. You're harder to forget, more tracks, like a 3D sculptures that you're building, model. Anyway, so does a person always have to walk the talk? Not necessarily. Why? You don't really always have to preach what you teach, because sometimes it's better to divide the labor. Let the preachers do the preaching and let the doers do the doing. In fact, if the preachers just focus on preaching and accumulate knowledge about a certain topic, the doers, the people who actually have the talent and genetics to do it, can actually just focus on listening to the preacher and do what they do instead of doing research and do the doing. You know what I'm saying? For instance, a lot of people criticize fitness YouTuber Ian McCarthy because he doesn't look like he lifts. Well, I have to disagree, because actually, if you take off his shirt, he actually looks pretty good. But anyways, he doesn't look like the Hodgetwins. A lot of people discredit him because he doesn't look like the Hodgetwins. Well, guess what? Having the genetics and the time and the dedication and the motivation to build muscles versus reading about and knowing, or the motivation to understand the know-how of how to build muscles don't always go together. In fact, if you spend all day, all the time, if your passion is reading about muscles anatomies and exercise science, you get a PhD in sports or sports psychology science, you might not have time to do all that lifting. Right? There's even scientific evidence to what I'm suggesting. I read an article that says that if you work out before you study, your studies will suffer, and vice versa. Okay? What does that mean? That scientists think that working out really exhausts your brain. The glucose, gone, right? You're reading, same thing. Your brain takes the most energy when you're fucking doing like intellectual work. You go work out later, 3 hours of math, working out, fuck that, you can't do it. So, you know what I mean? You either left brain or either right brain or either the body. Alright? You can't be all. You're either bodybuilder or you're a vertical jumper. You can't be all. Unless you're me, because I'm a freak of nature. I'm a breed of different kind. A lot of trainers, like the Hodgetwins say, are very good at accumulating knowledge and learning about the facts, and they're good at knowing what people need what. You know, different people need different programs. They know how to do that. If you go to him, you might have gains, right? And this person is always busy giving people different programs. And here's the interesting point. People tend to go to a bodybuilder just because he looks good and take their information or their facts for granted. But guess what? If this bodybuilder talk his walk, even if he does talk his walk, chances are he only knows one way, or whatever way works for him. Because if it works for him, why would he do anything else but what works for him? Chances are he's not going to know what works for you. Only the guy who spends all his day doing research and knows the different possibilities knows what's good for you, and for him, and for her, for them. See my point? Example. Black people always jump higher, right? Black people tend to jump higher, and they always get, they probably get asked more than any other people or races or whatever on how to jump higher. But do they have the answers? Probably not, because I've seen more than enough cases where black people with 35 plus inch verticals that can dunk basketballs, they tell you to do stupid shit like ankle weights and quarter squats. And what makes you think this guy's gonna know how to train, how to increase his vertical, when genetically speaking, he's already there on top. Then this guy, all these black people, they probably can jump that high all their lives, okay? They're not gonna go and read the vertical jump Bible. They're not gonna do research. They don't need to. So I would rather take advice from a white guy who increases vertical leap by 50 inches. But even he have a less vertical jump than the black guy, you know what I'm saying? Because he's not very genetically gifted and he knows how to get there, right? Anyway, so I think this, I'm gonna go to art now, okay? I remember when I used to go to art school, okay? The professors that are really good at teaching, they know how to make an artist out of you. They suck. Their work sucks. That's why professors, they never show their work. Because they don't want you to think that their work sucks, that therefore they have nothing to teach you. Which is bullshit, okay? And there's a lot of visiting artists that come to speak at our school. And they're awesome artists. They're exhibiting and making a lot of money. But they can't teach for shit. You don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Einstein wasn't a very good teacher. Wittgenstein was a horrible teacher. In Taiwan, I remember going to the eye doctors. 99% of the doctors have eyeglasses. What's up with that? Kant, the philosopher, he wrote about the universe, man. He wrote about everything. People from all walks of life take advice from this guy. But guess what? He has no fucking clue how real life works. You know why? Because he stays at home. He never left his house almost his entire life. He's good at thinking about shit in his wheelchair. And other people take advice from him from all walks of life, but that doesn't mean that he has to know how to walk the life.